Good evening, viewers, wherever you are. This is Afrique 24, and today we are going to discuss what we are seeing in happening in Kenya. First of all, my condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones in the fire tragedy that happened in Nyeri, and now we are told that Isiolo is also burning. So it is sad. It is sad that some of these boarding schools are on fire, and many families are grieving at this particular moment. We pass our condolences to the families as the Afrique community, Afrique family. And with me in the studio is none other than Boni. Boni is a media personality there in Kenya, and he would like to share some of his thoughts on what is happening with these tragedies that is happening across the country. But first, I would want to give you just an overview uh, the fire tragedies. Schools in Kenya, particularly boarding schools, have been having this kind of tragedies. These fires have resulted to numerous fatalities, injuries for over the years. And what is the government doing about it? The recent incidents include uh, just about 24 hours ago. We lost 72 hours ago. We lost 21 students in Nyeri who were in a boarding school, and unfortunately, 21 of them are now dead. 48 are missing. The government has been urged to enforce safety regulations in most of the schools, but I can tell you 90% or 95% of the schools in Kenya have got no safety measures or drills for students to perform every other month or every other or annually, maybe to have like 10 drills just to remind them in case of a tragedy. This is how we need to respond as we wait for the firefighters, or it is an ambush. Maybe there is somebody who has come up, some people with weapons who have invaded the schools. These schools do not have uh, people trained or teachers trained to manage such things. So it is high time that the government of Kenya invests on teachers to give them the drills that they can teach the students in classrooms and in dormitories in case there is a fire outbreak. This particular incident, the most likely there was no fire extinguisher in that particular dome that killed all these students. Now, with me is Bonnie here to discuss the issue. I know he's back in the country, and he will tell us more of what is heard on the media, or just people speculating on what the issues are around these boarding schools. Bonnie, karibu.
Asante Mzalendo. Concerning the situation that we are facing in the country about the death of the kids in Nyeri County, this is something that has really shocked a lot of people in the country, Kenya, because the big question is, how did this happen? How did this happen? And yet, this is just a small school whereby the kids who are there are kids below 10, even 13. So who was the person who was in charge of these kids? and where was he or she, and what was the main cause of this fire? So these are the questions that we have not received something that is constructive, a response that can be given to public. So we are still waiting to get confirmation on what led to cause of this fire,
Mhm.
and people are really condemning the issues of these fires in the country. We have seen Nyeri, and I would say that was a natural disaster, something that affected the whole country, because as a parent, you cannot just imagine waking up and going to school and you hear that your kid has been burnt into ashes. I think this is something that has really shocked a lot of people, and parents are still shocked. Parents in Nyeri who missed their kids are still looking for the kid. So we hope that things will go on well, but it is a sad situation in the country. So we need to get a clarification from the government on what really happened. And we need to get those answers, because it is sad for a parent to just hear that the child has just died in a fire tragedy in school, that is, not even at home. So it is sad. It is really sad. I will always say we need to get answers from the police on why this happened. 21 students confirmed already dead, and there are some of them who are missing, almost 48. So where are they? That is the question. Anyway, thank you, Zalendo, and we welcome everyone to Afrik 24. This is your 24-hour channel, and we are going to discuss more about this fire, tragedy, politics. Yeah, a lot of things we are going to discuss in this show. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Banaboni. And this story has been even been covered in CNN. It has gone round, and the dormitory in this particular institution, it's devastating. It's devastating that the school's name is Hillside Address Academy in Nyeri County. Now, Hillside Address Academy in Nyeri County uh, has got students. I understand that these are very, very young students. Yeah, the information that I'm gathering is that uh, the students in that particular school are 824 students. 402 are boys and 422 are girls who are enrolled in the school, and it added another 156 56. So, and 166 girls were boarders, while the rest were day scholars. So it is a boarding school and a day school at the same time. Um, the deputy president in a presser said that 70 children are still unaccounted for. Uh, and are still unaccounted for. That is by Friday yesterday. They had got 70 kids who are still unaccounted for. So you can imagine what is going on uh, in this particular institution, and what is going on around the parents of and brothers and sisters of these missing kids. So it is sad. It is sad that we have to be in this particular situation in Kenya at this particular moment, where we have devolution and we are assuming that this is the county for where the vice president comes from. So we hope that the firefighters were there in good time. We hope that this will not happen again. And even as we were still mourning this tragedy, Isiolo again is burning. Isiolo girls, I understand, is also on fire. So this is a season when schools are just burning in Kenya. We need to really find a permanent solution to this particular incidences, and more so to find a solution to stop these fires before they cause fatalities and tragedies the way they are causing to families. So here in Africa, we will keep you informed on any measures that the government is taking. Plus, we will give you the numbers as they come to our studios of the missing students. But one thing that we need to discuss is that Bonnie is are these boarding schools for you to take your 3 or 4 year old as a parent to a boarding school? What are you thinking about as a parent? Kwa nini unapeleka mtoto wa miaka 4 boarding? Aupendi hao watoto ama ni kazi? What is it? What goes on in the parent who takes their children to a boarding school at the age of 4 years? Mtu hata ajui kujiosha, ajui kuvaa panty and all that. Why?
I think I will not try to lean on one side of this situation because every parent always loves the kid. It is a dream of every person. For example, human being, to be specific with ladies, it is always a proud when you get a kid. But now, when it comes to making this kid just become a human being to grow, it is always tough. Considering now we have a lot of things to do, we have jobs, we have to make sure that everything is in the right order. So, what I can say is that I will not try to complain to the parents, but at times, these young kids, they always need that special attention and care. So the parents who really took their kids to the boarding school are really suffering because they don't know where are the kids. Others lost their kids. So it is a sad situation. And what I can say is that parents are always keen about taking care of their kids. But now, when you take that responsibility to school, then it is the mandate of the teacher to make sure that the kid is in safe zone always, even if it's a boarding or a daytime. So the only person we can complain here is the head teacher or the principal of that school and the management. How did this happen? Were there no a watchman? There was no someone to take care of the kids, and yet
So,
why did
but
they
if there
allow?
was a watchman, what would the watchman do in case of a fire tragedy
Of
like
course, you
this one?
can set alarm. The kids will hear and they will just escape. Set
So
an
the
alarm
alarm
because
needs to go off in case there is a fire. Hmm?
because
And
I think
hmm?
before the fire spread, then if there was someone who was awake, then he could have said a signal. And
Hmm.
does it mean that we don't have neighbors in that school?
Hmm?
I think this is something that needs to be taken with a serious because when you have kids around, you always make sure that you can take care of them
Hmm.
because How can you have someone who is even 9 years old and they don't have someone to take care of? Where was the matron? Does it mean that they didn't have a matron or someone who is a caretaker? That is the question that you're asking. And this is the only way we can get a solution to this. Who was in charge of the kids by 3 a.m. when we had fire in the school? Because I tend to believe that the parents are now fuming. You cannot just wake up and hear that your kid has just been burned down by fire. Where
Mm-hmm.
was the teacher? How is the management? I think there is always a problem from the top management in that school because that is a very common.
Who is the minister? Who is the current minister for education in Kenya?
The legacy deputy there, Mangomba.
Ma?
Is it
Do you know
Mangomba?
it? Yeah, Bonnie, you seem to be not knowing the minister for education. Is it Magomba or Magomba? What is his name?
Name that is his name. That is his name. That is his name.
Oh,
Legacy.
oh, has he come to answer questions in the media? Have you
He
seen
has
him
not
on?
responded. Even the
Yes.
Inspector General of Police, Masengeli, just said
Hmm.
that the investigation are ongoing.
So they have not communicated to the public at this particular time. It is 72 hours.
The
We
only
have
person,
seen. Hmm?
the only person who communicated is William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, and he said that we have
That is
3 days to
that
monitor the
that is
kids.
his duty, but he has assigned the CS for education. He has got a minister for internal security
Yeah,
and who is this?
Kindiki responded. Actually, he was there. He went there, Kindiki.
Oh, Kindiki responded to the situation. Are you aware whether these families are getting any kind of counseling from government, from the doctors, free counseling, because this is something that will traumatize many of these family members for a very long time. Is there
Yeah,
anything like that?
this is something that will always be there. You know, the same situation that happened in the year 2015 at Garissa University.
Sorry.
I think this is
Mm.
the same situation. So I have not had someone who is trying to console the parents who lost their kids. So I think the government has a lot to do to explain to the
Mm.
Kenyans. But you know,
Mm-hmm.
in Kenya we have a series of events, and these events go unanswered. The same way we had the Kwale massacre. Now people have forgotten about Kwale. Now they are focusing about the Nyeri. So for how long are we going to continue having those unfinished missions in our country?
Yes, Bonnie is asking for how long are we going to have these unfinished missions, Mr. President, and commissions that are formed with no solution. So we need solution to some of these issues that are affecting our country. Some of them you can get them here on Africa. Number one is that for we need to revise and review uh, whether we still need these boarding schools. We have advocated for a very long time that parents are really suffering because of boarding fees, and the government is not bringing the fees down at any time soon. So before we get a bill on free secondary education, we need to look at whether it is still uh, viable for us to take our kids to boarding school. One of some of the pros and cons in boarding school is that it gives the child that environment that they need for learning and study time to help the and discipline in time. Yani, when the bell rings, they are in class. When the bell rings, they are at the dorm. just management of time. It gives you that sense of management of time, which is important in the development of the children. But are these places where you can correct discipline? Boni is a boarding school, a place where when you take your child, they'll come out like very very disciplined children and very very successful in life, or it's a place where we also hear of other activities going on in girls' schools. We have had the activities that go on in girls' schools. In boys' schools, the drugs that are involved in some of these boys' schools. Is it a place where you can trust that the teachers can take care of the learners? Bonnie.
Yeah, I will say no. In a school, you cannot just take care of someone who is below 10 years old. So when it comes to this situation, if your kid is below 13, let him or her not go to boarding school. Because I believe someone who is below 10 years is very young. Let's just embrace someone who is almost 13 to go to primary boarding school or secondary school. Because if you take someone who is below 10 years, how do you expect that person to take care of her or himself? So we need to get some of the rules that are going to be posed into these schools so that we can
You,
save the
you, know,
lives of
you
the
know,
young.
Bonnie, this is the argument of many parents, and I saw it when some of my siblings went to boarding school. That it teaches the child how to be responsible, to wash their clothes, to at their free time, even if they are 10, 5, 6, 7 years, they already know how to wash their clothes and be responsible. But for me, I think that is torture. That kind of self-reliance at an early age, where the child needs to grow with the parents very close to them, they miss that opportunity to be parents of these particular children. Or what do you think, Bonnie?
Yeah, same way. I think we should just stop this. Let's embrace someone to go to this boarding when you are just grown up and you're mature enough, taking
Mm-hmm.
care of yourself. Because now, if something that happened to our kids there back 2 days ago happens to your person, how do you think this one is going to be? Like you are a parent and you just go to school to get your kid and you find that he or she is not even there. Something has happened. So I think this is bad. Let's just stop this. I mean, let's impose rules into these schools that are going to make sure that the kids are in the same direction because this is the only way. If we impose specific rules, this is the only way we are going to win this argument.
Well,
But now we don't have anything to even give us some information about what happened, the cause of the fire, who was there, a lot of things. So I think we should just say someone who is under 10 years should not even go to. But why should you allow someone who is young to go to boarding as a parent?
imagine these kids will be very very lonely, homesick, homesick if they were used to a particular food that they were eating at home. I mean, it is sad. And then the cost, are these schools very very cheap, Bonnie?
No, they are not cheap, but no parents nowadays, they want to give their children the best schools. That is why they can just even take them to boarding at 5 years. They want to give them
Mm-hmm.
the best education, but now, anything that comes easy as a consequence. If
Mm-hmm.
you have a kid, then you should just have him, you should have anytime, any day after school, because that is the only way you are going to be assured that he is safe. But now letting him or a girl
Mm-hmm.
for this body, then automatic things might happen. And your kid is young, At least someone who is in Form 1 can run and save the life. So we have a big problem there, something that needs to be checked by the Minister of Education to make sure that those kids are well protected. Because if they are not protected, then things are going to be very worse.
Hello. So, Bonnie,
Hello,
you are
man.
saying hello.
Yeah, nakusikia.
What do you mean, boss? Uh, I'm gonna.
I mean,
Mhm.
we should just impose strict laws to these academies and public and private schools.
What do you say? What do you mean by strict rules? Hmm?
Number one, we check on the management, we check on security, we check on various areas. If the kids were aware, does it mean that there was no fire zone in that school? If you have a kid and then they see a fire zone, if anything that concerns fire comes out, those kids will just run to that place. So it means that the space in that school doesn't have a fire zone. That is why the children suffered trying to escape fire, but they had no option. Something that
Hmm.
has really struck our country.
So what you are talking about is a safety measure. Hmm? Kenyan government and other stakeholders, in fact, the private sector in some of these counties, need to step in and donate fire equipment because one, I think the budget of the counties are very limited, or the government is limited in terms of budget. So the private sector, they need to come up and install fire equipment. That is just a donation as a CSR to this particular schools in your environment. Then the government should also come with a safety audit. How safe is some of these schools that are private? That is something that needs to be done by the government of the day. Minister of Education is here. If you are listening to me, the Minister for Internal Security, there ought to be an audit or a drill in case for the safety of our children in this institution. If we must have boarding schools, all boarding schools must adhere to this kind of program, and there must be trained personnel who can teach the learners how to behave when in case of any emergency. And the installations of the fire equipment should be done in almost each and every school, in almost each and every corridor and corner, and each and every classroom should have a fire extinguisher. Each and every dome should have a fire extinguisher. This is something that can be done. There is a lot of money that is being pumped into the schools for capitation and all that. That money can be channeled to some of these activities because principals, uh, let us not be people who are greedy. Let us look at the safety environment for our children, and if you are opening a private school, please do a safety audit and be satisfied by the government of the Republic of Kenya that this school is compliant. It is compliant, and it can be given a go ahead to admit students to that particular facility. That is very important. So if any government official is listening outside there, please, here in Africa, we give you solutions. We will complain, but at the end of the day, we will give you the right solutions that can help learners in our schools. Another thing, Bonnie, there is the issue of the school buses. These school buses are not safe at all for learners. They are not safe at all for learners. Most of the school buses, you see students not buckled up. in those buses. The buses should have some kind of kit each and every time there is an emergency. There is always a teacher on board who can help, or somebody on board who can help other students apart from the driver. So when students are going for a trip, then there is an emergency kit that should be available. There must be at least 3 4 doors that are called emergency doors for students to get out in the dorms and in the buses that they will be traveling with to these particular events. So these things, if they are done, they might sound that unnecessary, but they save life. Some of these things save life. So please, parents out there, make sure that whatever we are telling you here on Africa, you try and emphasize or look for schools that have got fire extinguishers. They have got clean. They have got clean water, a clean environment for your children to study, and adequate space in the dorms. So this particular dorm could have been having more than 200 students, and its capacity that is recommended by by the engineer or the constructor is maybe 40 people. So this is something that should be looked into. If that was looked into, then we would not have a tragedy of that kind of magnitude. There would have been enough space for the kids to move. Some of these kids probably died during a stampede. Others were maybe carbon monoxide poisoning. So we never know. We want to see the report as soon as possible, so that we can look for the right solutions in these particular schools, apart from what I've just given you. Now, Bonnie, another issue is the issue of blackouts in Kenya. Tell us about these frequent blackouts. And I thought that now we have a grand coalition government, and Mr. Raila donated his best. Yeah. Why do we have frequent blackouts? Maybe you can tell me, because each and every time I call you, you tell me I'm in a blackout. Sina stima na stima ijakatwa. Ni nini haswa inafanyika Kenya ambapo hawana stima kila wakati, na ilhali tuko na waziri mpya bwana Wandae?
I think this is something that has been there for a long time. We have been missing power in this country for a long time, but now it doesn't mean when Opio and I has come into position that we will be losing power. So we should not judge him by just 1 week to the work. But Opio and I went to the main center where power is distributed all over the country, and he promised Kenyans that he has engaged with the stakeholders and those who are involved in power production in the country, and gave a reason why we had a blackout on Friday and Saturday. So that is on Thursday, Saturday. That is on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, saying that those were just due to interruption of SUSWA, which is the main source of power in the country. And when it comes to blackout, personally, I will speak on my experience that anytime we cannot just have a power supply for even 1 week. We should always get those blackouts any day, any time. So mostly in the morning and in the evening, they are just not giving the power. So I might see there is someone who is interfering with the power during the night time. Maybe he has his own plans, because how do you miss power even for 9 hours? And yet we have business that depends on power. So I think one day those are the kind of leaders who really wanted to be the government. Yeah, there. Let us see what they wanted to work. Let us see their manifesto now in real life, the reaction. We want to see how they are working for the country. Kenya. Yeah.
Now, these blackouts, they don't just affect you who is at home. They affect also schools in that particular environment. They will affect the industries. For the country to have production and the economy to grow, we must use power. It is high time that we look for alternative energy. We can look for nuclear energy development in Kenya as a source of alternative power away from the dams that we depend on. Because one, I can assure you that with the environmental changes in Kenya, for instance, or in around the world, there will not be sufficient water to continue depending on these dams for our electricity. We need to look for other sources of power, especially develop nuclear energy as a source of power in uh, in our country. I can see Gypsy Corner. Gypsy, I hope you're having a nice weekend. We tumepokea salamu, asante sana. We are discussing about the tragedy that happened in the schools and why we still need some of these boarding schools. I hope you are not going to take your children who are 4 years in a boarding school, 3 and 4 years in a boarding school, in order for them to be taught how to wash their clothes. You, as a parent, can do that very well at home. If you are teaching your children, taking your children to boarding school to learn how to clean themselves, then it means that you have failed as a parent. Schools are not daycare facilities where you could dump your children there for the teachers to take care of them, but it should have been a safety environment for all these other learners. The schools ought to have got fire extinguisher. The students needed to have done a lot of drills in case of fire. There ought to have been so many exits in the particular dormitory, maybe one, maybe two or three exits in case of a fire. The population of the students ought to have been regulated in this case. So we still have a lot of questions to ask the principal of that school. We have a lot of questions to ask the Ministry of Education why this school operated under such circumstances. And we also need to see the compliance certificate of this particular institution and all the schools that are still operating as boarding schools. Are they really, really compliant? So these are the kind of questions that we are asking you in the comment section. You back at home, join us. And one thing I would want to emphasize is if you're following us on X, make sure that you have subscribed to our freak. If you are on YouTube, make sure that you also subscribe and hit that bell so that when we have these particular discussions, you can join us in this important discussion and give your opinion. Don't just stay at home and wait for the government to decide the fate of your children. Be on the forefront to decide the kind of measures that the government ought to take in order to ensure that our children are safe. And the parents, especially single parents who like taking their children to boarding schools, now some of them will be left childless after this incident. So you need to weigh, you need to look at it very, very critically. And maybe employing a nanny and having your children going to day school would be the best alternative for especially for 3 years, for 7 years and above. And not even about age. I have always advocated that boarding schools are not the best for our children in Kenya. Boarding schools are like death traps. That's the way Gypsy Corner has put it. It's a death trap for our children. It is not a correctional center. You can you can see, Bonnie, what really happens when you are taking your child for the first time in an institution in Kenya. Ukiona ushaona, Boni, how was your first day in a boarding school? Siku yako ya kwanza ile wazazi wamekupeleka boarding school, how was it? Give me the experience, your personal experience. Ulisikiaje?
My personal experience when I was I went to boarding school when I was in class 6.
Wewe ndio wale
And
walichoka, walikuwa wamechoka, wazazi walikuwa wamechoka nao. Okay, sawa, endelea.
so I can't remember, but what I used to remember is the morning hours when we used to wake up for morning preps. That is the only thing that I remember. I used to go to the class with my blanket.
Sasa unaenda mtoto wa class 6, what are you reading for preps?
I really don't understand what I used to go to do in class 6. In class 6, we were having a boarding school, 7 boarding, maybe class 8 you can go for boarding, but 6
So you are waking up at 6 a.m. in the
at
morning,
5.
5 a.m. in the morning. Umekunywa kitu saa hiyo?
Kauji unakuja kupata kauji huko saa tatu saa 12 hapo ama saa 1.
Uji bila chochote?
Uji hata haikuwa na sukari wakati wetu huko Ukambani bwana. Uji ni ya maji. Uji
So
inakaa tu ni
umepiga uji, ala, ukishapiga uji hiyo saa 12, niambie tu routine yako. Wewe ni mtoto wa class 6, umepiga uji, unarudi kwa class.
sasa, si uji sasa. Ukishapiga uji ya saa 1, si lesson zinaanza saa 2. Lesson inaanza saa 2 hapo sasa.
Mhm.
Lesson zinaanza saa 2 hapo mpaka jioni uende
Mhm.
games. Hiyo mateso bwana. Mzazi mtoto wa kwenda boarding siku hizi ni mtu mwenye ako high school. Mwingine akae nyumbani. Siku hizi hata masomo haina maana sana.
Masomo haina? You're talking like my son. Ati masomo haina maana?
Eh,
Boss, masomo ina maana. Usiwahi sema masomo haina maana. Masomo ina maana. Bila masomo hatungekuwa hapa tunaonana na wewe hivi tunaongea vile tunaongea. It took somebody to go to school to create this app so that we can be able to talk, me in Virginia and you in Kenya. So that is how education helps a lot. So tungekuwa sisi wote hatuna masomo, tumekaa tu hatujaenda skuli, unafikiri ulimwengu ungekuwa namna gani? One thing I
but
know
anyway,
is that
anyway,
one
we are
thing.
changing all. The education
Hmm?
that we used to get those days, it is totally different from nowadays. We used to go to school because of it. For now, we have curriculum based, which is totally different from what people used to go to learn in school. So I think masomo siku hizi iko na maana. I know, education has a lot of importance, but now the main reason is, why do you go to school? People have several reasons why they go to school.
Okay, sasa hebu niambie, wewe ulienda shule kufanya nini? Ulienda yani wewe, according to wewe, hebu niambie uh, because this topic, young people like you always pop it out that education is not important. Uh,
Yeah, I went to school to get knowledge. That is all what I can say.
so you got the knowledge.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And then.
but at the end of the day, that knowledge that you get, education is lifetime investment. So
Hmm?
the parents want to get outcome of that investment.
Mm-hmm.
But
They want to
nowadays,
get what hey, this is a good
they
topic.
need to
What
get
wanataka kufanya nini?
they need to get output. They need to get something from your education. So getting a job out here, it is where people draw the line.
Hmm? So you know uh, do you know there is something that you ought to know about education that I think most young people miss. And education in the world that we are in gives you an opportunity for career career development. If you want to have some skills in a particular field, like you, I know you are in media, you need to be educated in media. You need to know a lot about media so that even when you are practicing, you know how to use the camera, for instance. That is what a good education helps you in. So you use it practically, and after learning, you can get employed in a media house. Now, education is also something that it's a tool for economic growth, and of course, if you are educated, then it improves your living standards. So when we are growing up, we were seeing that people who are educated, they get good jobs and they get a good salary. So your standard of living cannot be compared to somebody who has not gone to school. I hope I'm very, very clear, Bonnie, about that. Bonnie, are you still there?
Yeah, yeah. I'm listening. I'm listening.
So education promotes some kind of equality, regardless from uwe mtoto wa maskini, uwe mtoto wa tajiri. The education creates that balance. This is the only time that you can beat a kid from the rich family because you are educated. This is the only time that you will share the same institution of learning, if it is university, with somebody from a very influential family or from a rich background. This is where the poor also shine. This is the only place where they shine and see and they outsmart the rich kids who are with them in the same class. Now this is a place for innovation, opening your thoughts to science, a world, and creating an environment where you can be a solution other than a burden. If you go back to the village and you find people who dropped out from school, a good percentage of them, like 98% of them, will be doing so poorly back in the village. Those who have not developed any kind of skill in business or yeah, in business mostly, so they will not be doing so good. But those who their peers who went to school will come driving in cars. They will share some pleasantries about life in the city compared to life in the village. So, ukiona, if you grew up in the village and you saw somebody who is coming from the city and is your sibling and they are driving, you feel that this you already feel that the inferiority complex, that this person is really above me in terms of everything. He has got a good life. He has got good clothes. He has got a good watch. He has got a good car. He has got a good family. So that is what education in our society is all about. So education is important, Mr. Boni, unless you have got a different opinion. So
No,
next
I
time,
know education is important because it
don't
teaches
say you don't
you
see
to.
why education is important. Education opens your brain. You start thinking. You start thinking, and like somebody, you've been told, like, think like somebody who went to school. Don't think like somebody who has never been to a learning institution. So that is what education does to you. And of course, diversity. When you are educated, you meet other people from other communities, and you interact a lot. If you have the opportunity to fly out of the country and have your education abroad, India, Europe, and America, then it also comes with other challenges too. But education is power, and education changes society. Yeah, so those are the standards about education. So it is important, but that was not the topic for today. The topic for today is how we are going to deal with Wandai and the power outrages that are happening in Kenya. You told me that he was at the power grid, and they said there was some technical issues which they have resolved right now. I believe you have power right now, yeah? Uko kwa stima sahi.
Lakini inapotea vile inataka huku.
So isipotee kabla tumalize show. Tuko na baada ya dakika kama 10 hivi tumalize hii show ya 1 hour. But I am glad. So the people who are back at home, people who are watching Africa, please care to join us in this discussion. We are going to move to a pet topic for Bonnie. He loves sports so much. Maybe you can tell us what is happening in the sports fraternity. I saw you earlier on with this banner wrapped around your neck. So who is Samuel Wino Kempes?
Yeah, absolutely. We have one of in our country, Kenya, football crisis has been as a major problem. So we have our very own former football midfielder and also someone who has played for Gor Mahia, that is Samuel Wino Kempes. Those who know Kempes long time ago, if you have been following history of Gor Mahia, Harambee Stars, Kempes has been one of the best in midfield, and actually that is East African time yesterday. Here we are past midnight. So yesterday he officially launched that he is going to vie for FKF president. That is why he said that he's going to vie. He said that he has the rights to qualify and also he has the rights to go for FK president come this year, whereby Nick Mwendo, who has served for 8 years, is going to quit. This is a tough battle between Hussein Mohammed and Kempes Mwendwa. You know, Mohammed is there. A lot of presidential aspirants have really been following this FKA president. So what I can say is that Kempes has given his manifesto actually, and we are going waiting to see what is going to happen for the next month when we have the campaigns for FKF. So what I can say is that Kempes has been a key player in this country, and he said that he is ready to change the football crisis in this country. Bearing in mind that we have the AFCON bid come 2027, whereby we are going to host the AFCON, and now we don't have even the infrastructures. He said that he's going to make sure that Harambee Stars qualify for the AFCON, SECAFA, all those because we have been suffering. So Kempe said that we are going to be assured that when he gets into this seat, then he will win, and when he wins, then football will be back. You saw Kenya playing against Zimbabwe, and for real, we were struggling. Although we were playing outside the country, and that was our home ground in Nambole Stadium, Uganda, but still we had no fans. And he said that fans momentum was very key because it gives players that morale to play, and they can even score goals. So he's sure that he's going to bring football back in Kenya, make sure that the federation is the right order, and he is ready to serve Kenyans when it comes to football matters. That is somewhere we know. Kempes, he launched the presidential aspirant in our football today. That is today. If you are following from Virginia, California, or France, Gipsy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is all what I heard about Samuel Wino Kempes.
Mm. So, did you what is it that Samuel Wino Campus is offering uh, us Kenyans that is unique from what Nick Mwenda is doing?
Zalendo, I think I have said that.
Hmm?
I have answered that.
Oh, you answered that.
Yeah.
So what? Just give me. I mean, maybe I didn't get. You only told us that
Samuel
Cambi.
Wino Kempes is saying that he has the right qualification for being the president of the FKF Federation,
Mm.
and saying by the kind of qualification that he has, he's saying that he is the most qualified candidate for the FK presidential aspirant.
Who
So,
is supporting campus?
of course, he is being supported by former Arab Stars coach Jacob Ghost Pule,
Mm-hmm.
and also he is being supported by former that is Arambe Stars midfielder, that is Sham Shulei,
Mm-hmm.
and
Is Sammy vying for any seat this time round?
no, some is not vying, but is supporting.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, is
oh,
supporting
that would be and Mohammed. This other guy was called Mohamedu
Hussein Mohammed.
Hussein Mohammed. That guy. I always say that he should be the FKF president.
Why?
Wait. Now let me teach you a bit of football. Now you've come to where why. Um, between Hussein Mohammed and Sami. Hussein Mohammed, number one. Hussein Mohammed has had an history of arranging the most successful tournament in Kenya. Did you remember the Super 8?
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
Yeah, so Hussein was behind the Super 8 and awesome. Yesterday I had Penny inviting you to Sound Candy to talk about Ruto. No, oh yeah, I know Penny would invite me to such shows, but I want to stick to my lane. We were we were kicked out of that particular show, and we wouldn't want to go back there. That's why we came up with a freak that is open to us to say what we want and to do the right thing for our country, especially when things are not going so well. We hope that we will be the voice of reason. And awesome, you guys have been wonderful at sometimes supporting the government, but we have to create a balance when we are supporting the government. When they are not doing the right thing, we have to correct them. That is the only time we will have a civilized society. And I keep on saying this. We have to work really, really hard to get the kind of government that we want. Some of these leaders, Raila Odinga, William Ruto, they are on their way out. This country will be left for Awesome, Gypsy Corner, Boni, and many, many other Kenyans who want to lead. So we must correct government, even when they don't want to be corrected, even when people are losing lives and they can't be accounted for. We must tell them that this should not, uh, and this should not do not happen. So sincerely, we must control the conversation. So I know Bonnie is very, very tired. He's almost drifting to sleep in my studio. Bonnie, if you can last for a few more minutes before you start closing your eyes and yawning like a hippo in my studio, I will allow you to say a few words before we wind up this particular 1 hour of discussion. And one thing that that Awesome introduced here that I would like you to comment about is Mulu Mutisia. Mulu Mutisia comes from Mukambani, and this guy was not educated, same as Njenga Karume and many others. Awesome, these are exceptionals. We they maybe form like maybe 2% of the society or 5% of the society, or people who are not very, very educated, but they have been successful in business. We have people who have dropped out of college and they have been very, very, very successful. The Bill Gates, uh, they have been very, very successful. So some people are lucky, but most importantly, education is important as an equalizer. So Boni, FKF, back to FKF, mali tunapenda kabisa. You know, football is another economy altogether, and I believe Soleil, Sami Owino Kempes, has got the capacity. He runs an academy here in the US, so we hope that he's going to bring his skills to bring back football in our country. Uh, what is lacking is in our country is the love for the game. Kenyans are really falling out of touch with their football clubs. Perhaps only tribal thing that we need to go back to. Nataka Wakamba wakuwe na timu yao ya mpira inaitwa East. Unajua kitambo, before you were born, Boni, there was a team from Eastern. Do you know the team?
No, 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 I don't know the
Mafuko,
team.
kuna team ilikuwa inaitwa Mafuko Bombers. Hiyo ilikuwa ina represent the Eastern region. When it came to the main league, the people from Meru, Wakamba, they felt represented. Then there was the Kikuyus had their team called Akati FC or Akati United. Akati United was basically people from Central supporting that particular team, and we had a very strong leagues then. So, and Gor Mahia, traditionally the Luo community and the Luya FC and the likes. But when the corporations came into the game, instead of Kenya Breweries starting a football club, which is a good thing, I think they should have put that money into the clubs that are struggling to run the league in the league. If they put that money in the clubs that are struggling to run in the league, then the competition would be there. We had teams like a Reunion who could not afford to pay players because they don't have a fan base. So this big corporate organization, Safaricom should be sponsoring the league completely, entirely. They make a lot of profits. It should be mandatory that some of these corporations that are coming to operate in the country Right now, you've sold the airport. We need to see the Katan is part of the profits that they are getting going to CSR to help our people. So that is all I have for you this evening. Awesome. I know we have been away, so we have lost touch a bit. YouTube ilikuwa imetufanyia ile visanga, so we could not be on air, but I'm glad we were able to resolve some of it, and we can now go back on air as we used to. So those of us who have been waiting away, our shows will be still here on Afrique 24, because this is where we belong. For the family members who have strayed to the neighbor's house, tell them to come back and we build our team. Yes, Osam is reminding me of Shabana FC. I talked about Shabana. I nearly played for Shabana as a youth, but my parents didn't allow me to play football for a club like Shabana. So I ended up in Steamer, which I didn't even play for a minute. So football is something that will change the lives of so many. You have seen what this guy from Senegal, Sadio Mane, is doing in his village with football. We have seen the likes of Messi. We have seen Cristiano Ronaldo. These are big earners. This is another economy altogether. The money Cristiano Ronaldo is earning can run the Kenyan economy. Pesa ya Messi can run the Kenyan economy. Do you know that, Mr. Boni? Bonnie, your
Yeah,
last
yeah.
word. Your last word, because I see that you are drifting to sleep right now.
I'm not sleeping. But anyway, we thank you, our loyal followers, our some Gibbs Corner, who have been consistent with attending our shows. Yeah, that is all what I can say. Thank you, and we continue subscribing and sharing our content here. Yeah, we have a long way to go, and of course, we are back in full force.
Oh, awesome. Good year, good year, good year can never, 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 ever. I can route for her. She can never, she can wait away for some time, but she will always be here. She was here earlier. She's the one, she's here before. Why am I calling her she? Mbona tunaitaga good year she? I don't know. In my own world, I know a good year, but from the conversation I have with Awesome and I have with the good year, this conversation I can put my money. These are all ladies. Naweza weka pesa yangu hapo niseme Awesome, she's a beautiful lady somewhere there. And Gypsy Corner pia I can put, naweza weka pesa niseme these are very kind people who have been supporting Africa. We thank you so much for being part of the family. And sometimes we need you. You have a topic that you want us to discuss. Please feel free kutuambia and the kind of topics that you'd like us to discuss, and the kind of topics that are trending wherever you are. Sometimes we might miss the point, but we want you to be here to tell us, yes, you guys, today I want you guys to uh, to talk. No, awesome, no, awesome man. No way. That one I can put my money. You are a lady, pengine unaitwa Lucy. You are a she somewhere. No, 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 unaitwa Lucy. Na Gypsy Kona yeye alishakataa kutuambia identity yake, but sisi tutampatia identity. She's a he or a he, or she any. Tutawapatia identity because we don't really know who you are. Ama nyinyi ni wale maspies, wale people who are planted by the government of Kenya to watch what the social media is doing. So that can also be there. But at the end of the day, we want to do the right thing. We want to do the right thing, and the right thing is to talk about our country and talk about it passionately. If you see Awesome the way and I support William Ruto, uh, that is the kind of passion that we want. If you see Boni mixed in between supporting Kalonzo Musyoka. No, Boni has never supported Kalonzo Musyoka. Huyu ni mtu wa Raila damu. Boni, are you still with Raila Odinga? Are you still going to vote for him in 2027? Yeah, Boni, these are Raila diehards. They will never, never, never get out of that of that Baba camp, and so many other people. We appreciate your choice. For us, we support good governance, we support accountability, we support the future of Kenya. We don't want to look at it just with Ruto. We want to look at the future of Kenya beyond William Ruto. We want a situation where awesome your children will walk freely, will have a free secondary education in the country they love. Most of us are scattered out in the world, wondering when we are ever going to go back to our country, Kenya. Kenya is a beautiful place. Let me tell you, there's nowhere better than home. Here, where you are, where be it in the US, whether you are a citizen or not, you feel it. You feel like you are not in the right place. Home is always best. Unajua, you know when you walk in your village, yeah, you walk in your village, you feel very, very proud, and people know you and they respect you, and they greet you warmly as the son of the soil. That is very, very important to some of us. Yes, Gypsy Corner is saying, I support Raila for EAUC. Boni, Raila atashinda hii kiti ya AUC?
Raila for 2027 general election. Me, I don't care about AUC. Mine is Raila to be the president. I get my 6,000 every month.
We Gypsy Corner, unasikia hiyo? Raila atapingana na Ruto tena 2027.
Mm.
Anyway, that is political madness. Now hiyo ndo inaitwa political madness. Hiyo hata sijui ni nini. Hiyo ni kama kukula Indomie na kuishi na Indomie for 1 week na useme utasurvive na wewe ni Mkenya. Haiwezekani ama Boni, that is wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. But we support Baba, and we hope that he wins this particular seat. The man from Djibouti is also making inroads. I saw a clip where alikuwa huko with Raila Odinga huko nini huko China. And Ruto has already campaigned for Raila Odinga, and I give him credit for campaigning for Raila, even at the international stage. Ruto was there for Raila Odinga. I can't say I can't say that Ruto has not supported Baba. But what is it? What is this seat for us here in Kenya? I've asked myself that question a lot because the former EAUC commission, I've not even seen him visiting a country like Kenya. So I don't know what kind of policies that at this time round Raila will implement in the environment or in infrastructure that will affect us greatly, or the kind of unity that Africa wants, that it needs Raila so much to be on that particular seat, to deliver it for Africa. Raila will not only be delivering for Kenya, he will be representing Africa. So good luck Baba, tunakutakia mazuri. Well, Boni, can you tell us what is happening in the EPL league? Haujatuambia mambo ya EPL. Boni, we want to know what is happening in the EPL league. Boni has disappeared. So I don't know what games are there tomorrow in the EPL league. Somebody out there, can you please tell me ni game gani ziko kesho, which we will want to analyze in the EPL league tomorrow. So Gypsy Raila will implement the Raila will implement the SGR all the way to Congo. Boss, tumenunua train inakaa kama smoky, inakaa kama ile mashini ya smoky. Tanzania have got a bullet electrical train. Tanzania electrical train. Let me find it. No one the difference. Tanzania electrical train. Let me find it so that you can see the difference between. Mhm. Tanzania wako na the new. Let me try and bring it to you guys so that you can see the new train ya Tanzania. And this is where sometimes it is embarrassing to be a government official, especially at this time when we have countries like Tanzania implementing some very, very good stuff in their country. Mhm. So you will see. Oh, this is Mise. This is the Tanzania new train that already has started operating. Now we have got we in Kenya have got something very, very funny in in the name of a train, mm, a bullet train. Let me welcome my brother Mise. Mise bwana, a long time. We have not seen you here. I think we have missed each other for some time, and it would be nice if we see your face.
Yeah, it's nice seeing you, brother Mzalendo. Sijaweka
Manze
makeup.
brother man, manze nataka uanze kuweka hiyo sasa. Wewe ukiweka makeup bwana.
Kuwa mpole. Be kind. Be kind. This is not how you welcome a brother.
Bana, do you know one thing? One thing I was taught that men don't wear makeup, and ile kitu tunavaa, especially women. I posed a question here on my page, and I want you guys on the I want you guys on I want you guys on the comment section to come to come here and tell me. Mise is here. Kuparara, kuparara. Kuparara ni nini na Kizungu?
Dry skin.
Uh-uh. Kuparara. Guys in the comment section, kuparara ni nini na Kizungu?
It's just dry skin and oiled skin.
No, it has one word.
No.
It has one word. Dry and skin. That's not one word. Kuparara. You see, kuparara is not divided. It's just one word. Kuparara.
That's Swahili. You know, Swahili is different from English. That's even
I
the
know,
syllables,
I know.
vowels.
Okay,
Yeah,
dry skin. One word for dry skin is what?
in Swahili.
In English. In English, dry skin.
No, it's I don't know, but I don't know of any word. It's dry skin. Unajua ama mzee
No,
ameingia. Unajua mzee akiingia atakuja ataleta anaweza tusaidia hiyo maneno.
I, mzee Penny, long time. Rudo Penny, we talk frequently, and we just spoke a few hours ago with one Penny. But one thing I'm glad to see you guys. You have been wonderful supporters of Africa. So karibu sana bwana Penny. Awesome huko anauliza. Penny was really campaigning for me to go and give my points on Sound Candid about about the situation in our country. But today, today I need the wise counsel of you wise men, to tell me this issue of schools. Penny, salimia
Yes.
salimia your fans. There are people here who have been missing you so much. Mm?
Nawasalimu sana. Sikujua ulikuwa unasikiza ile ya sound candidate talk.
No, 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 unajua ndio nani Osam ananiambia hapo kwa comment section that Penny was really rooting for you to join Soundcarded, ukuja uambie sijui wa naambia, when you see Penny there, it is because he has got an issue that he wants to pass across, and it is important that we blend like that sometimes, that we wait and give our opinion, especially when we see things that we need to correct, because some of these talk shows can be really extreme to an extent that can cause anarchy or division among the Kenyan people. So we create the balance. We need to create the balance in our society, especially in our thinking. There are some things that you can say on a social platform, and people will take it literally like that and implement that. They had it from Penny, and that is what we are going to do. So
Yeah,
we need
yeah,
to take,
because Mzalendo,
yeah.
there are people who believe in Penny. There are people who believe in Mzalendo, and whatever that you say, it means a lot to them. So when you say something, even when you don't mean it, someone somewhere thinks that that's the gospel truth. Just the same way we have people who are delusioned about William Ruto, Raila Amolo Odinga, and other people. You can't change. It's just like me. If Barack Obama said something, I just follow it blindly, even when I think because I believe in him. I admire the guy. So therefore, as my role model, when he says something, I tend to look up to him. You know. So what you're saying is very true, and I did go to sound candid. And when I criticized William Ruto, they were surprised. They say, "But this is the guy you campaigned for. This is the person you voted for." But I said, when he's not doing the right thing, we must be bold and speak about it. We shouldn't be afraid or ashamed to criticize, to give criticism where it's due.
Yeah, yeah, that's what makes the difference, because people who support Raila Odinga, even when Raila is doing the wrong thing, they still support him. People who support William Ruto, and I've seen it even in Rift Valley, there are people who come out and say, Mr. Even Wazés come out and saying, "Hey, mulikula pesa, mumekula, wakakula." You've seen that video. That is what makes the difference. We don't just support blindly. We support with our cautious, that we expect William Ruto to do the right thing. We expect Raila Odinga to do the right thing as supporters of Raila Odinga. We expect Kalonzo Musyoka to do the right thing. And when they make a mistake, we also call them out. That is what the media is supposed. And that is why you see us here in the social platform. You see Penny here. It is not in vain that we are here each and every time. You see awesome Gypsy Corner on the comment section. It is not in vain. We are trying to mold a society that we want it to look like this, not in the eyes of the politician, but in our own eyes. This is the kind of imagination that we want in a civilized society. Penny, can you say something? Penny, Penny is lost. Maybe akona wageni. So that is how we want to. Penny, you are not. Maybe are you back, Mr. Penny?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, walileta Misi wakasema Misi alikuja hapo na ule
Mm.
asikuja hapo ni wewe peke yako. Nikawaambia huyu ni rafiki yangu nazungumza naye all the time, so I will see whether he can come. But
Uh,
ile niliwaambia ni kwamba the Ruto ambao we supported is the one. Mimi nilisoma kitambo sana, nikasoma hiyo economics kidogo, ndio ilikuwa inasema bottom up economics. Hiyo ndio East Asian countries and Europe did na wakaendelea, lakini you cannot develop with corruption being so high. Na unajua mzalendo, nilienda huko nyumbani nikashangaa
mm,
kwa corruption especially in police, kwa chief, everywhere. Na this guy wanasema ati Kindiki is the one of the best CSs. Hii kazi gani anafanya? Nilikwenda kwa social group ingine inaitwa Nyasa for UDA, nikawaambia this moral that you guys are praising, let him fight corruption first before we can praise him. They kicked me out. Wakaniambia corruption wewe unaanza. But you have to be a leader. You have to be a leader to say, this is the direction we have to go. This is the direction that we don't have to go. This Kindiki or Omolo, Raymond, they are not giving us any leadership, direction of how it is that we could still kill corruption. Nyayo House is the den of corruption. Ukianzia kwa ground floor mpaka juu. So hiyo ndio ilikuwa inanifanya nilisema hii Ruto is not the right person. Na kuona sasa wameshikana na Raila, wamechange Kenya inakuwa kama ile ya Moi. When you bring Ruto Raila, like Monote has at least 30 to 40%. Na huyu Ruto ilikuwa na kama 50 ama up to 60%. Ukiweka pamoja yote inakuwa over 70. That's a dictatorship in its way, any way you want to say it. And we are a third world country. There are countries that have parties that have a population like that, kama Japan, South Korea, Germany. South Korea, their president is in jail. Japan, ukionekana tu na, yani if their companies does anything, the owner, the CEO ama ule anaendesha, he has to resign or they kill themselves or whatever. Lakini not in Kenya, not in third world countries. So we are not going to the right direction. Nikawambia kukubaliana nao, ndio nikasema yes, you guys were right, lakini the way Raila is even wrong. Kwa sababu wengi tu, I grew up in the 70s kuona yu Raila vile alienda 80s. It is pathetic. It is, anaingia kwa serikali, kila serikali anaingia tu, alafu anaacha watu yake wanakufa, and that is the guy that you follow blindly. That I would never. And when Ruto said that I want vibrant opposition, and that's what we wanted. But when we saw that the opposition has been bought and gone to one direction, na wanaiba, then I disagree with them completely. Lakini kuona kama huyu ndugu ya Mise Borara anaingia hapo, ni mzuri sana na Kebaso Morara. When his daddy died, I was in Form 1 at the Nyanchwa, and Morara used to come and get Mark Bosire. Sijui kama mise unamkumbuka, alikuwa mjumbe wa South Amini Wanchare. That was one of my teachers. Lakini Morara alimchukua akamweka kwa foreign affairs. When Morara died, the guy had to leave the foreign affairs department. Akuje huko nyumbani kufundisha, akawa headmaster ya Taranganya. So we have seen all this, lakini yangu mzalendo ni kusema kwamba what they are doing in Kenya now is backwards, is wrong directed. Lakini we have to give him at least 3 years ya dictatorship huko Kenya. Na vile Morara anasema, all the young generation have to have their IDs and register to vote, and they will vote this government out because he has already lost the mountain completely. Na sasa anywhere else, hata huko nyumbani kwao watu wanakataa. Ukija kwenu huyu Raila wamemkataa, so Ruto has to go. Na tuone kama hii generation Z itaendelesha Kenya. Na vile huyu Morara anazungumza, the way he has really been loved all over Kenya. At the point na hii ambao we heard of this, tulikuwa tunasikiza sana, lakini hatukuwa tunajua ya kwamba all these things that Ruto was saying were lies. Tulikuwa tunafikiri tu they are the opposition people that don't like him, that were talking like the way they were. But it is very true ya kwamba he is lying. When he talks, he lies. His speech amepeana hapo China is one of the best speeches I've listened to. Lakini it doesn't have anything to go by. Vile misi amesema huyu Obama, we supported him fully. Hata I'm a member of one of the biggest unions in this country. And when we were campaigning for him, mzungu mzee ingine aliniheshimu sana, anasema no wonder you don't use bad words. Unajua Amerika wanasema fuck you nini, mbona you are like that. Na anasema hapana, ndugu rafiki yangu ni Obama, ni ndugu yangu. They really highly respected you and held you to a high position. Now Obama, whenever he talked a lot of sense. The Ruto, some of us thought that he was talking a lot of sense, that he understood what the politics was, he understood what the opposition politics was. He doesn't. If he does, he's lying to us. Then kudanganya tu peke yake ndio ameendelea nayo, na hiyo hatutaki. We could never go for that.
Na huyu Morara guy, I mean, this guy, in some quarters people are saying that is a government project. Others are saying is called Gachagwa's project.
All those are propaganda. All the above is propaganda. Hata hii gari yake tumemunulia na wanasema ni Gachagua alimunulia. All those are being propaganda. Is akiwa kama grandfather yake George Morara, na hiyo Kebaso ambaye alikuwa that was before my time, but Kebaso was the first senator ya Kisii. Lakini George Morara was a vibrant, and itu watoto all over Kisii, everywhere. Ukienda Mwirango, ukienda Nyaribari, ukienda Wanja, there is Morara everywhere. Because he was a vibrant, he was straightforward. Aliwao kwa sababu Tom Mboya brought him to America. Tom Mboya is the airlift hiyo ndio alitumia. When he went to Kenya and he went to Zambia or Malawi, and he found the guy who killed Tom Mboya, and he gave them the date by Wednesday he was going to produce that guy Ama Bullet. They killed him. Alikuwa anatoka Kakamega, and then at night before he got to Kisumu wakamua. Gari ya polisi ikampiga, and the guys followed the car where they are rolled over to. They found him alive and they beat him with a certain. a blunt object until they killed him. Now George Morara sio nani, sio hao Nyachae ambao wengine Maraga mmesikia. He was a vibrant 60s kind of guy. You know, he was calling it like it was. Akiwa kama his grandfather, my friend, we will see something new in Kenya. Na hiyo yote nasema mzalendo ni propaganda tu. Unajua huyu nani huyu Hussein Mohamed ameingilia kwa JLK whatever show, and you have never had anything like that after. Because when he said that he talked to Ruto and he talked with him with a lot of respect, but huyu Ruto akampatia kazi alikata.
You know, this Morara guy is highly intelligent. I respect how when he was confronted by JFK to reveal the conversation of what they said with the president. He said that he cannot do that on national TV, and I saw that this is a politician. This is a good politician in the making.
Yeah.
And now he's going places. And tell us briefly about his father, because this is the father. I've got his picture now. Morara Senior. Now
That's his
Morara Senior.
grandfather. That's his
This is
grandfather.
this is the grandfather. Can you tell
Yeah.
us briefly about the Morara Senior? What? Because not so many people know that story of Morara, especially those who are watching Africa. You can tell us briefly about this Morara. Was he an MP? Which area MP?
Yeah.
What were his successes in politics?
George Morara is the MP for North Bugrango. Huko Nyamira is the one who started a lot of schools. Hata hospital ambao wana huko level 5 yeye ndiye alianza hizo. You know, George Morara was MP of North Bugrango. And he was a vibrant. He was not, you know, on one side or the other side. Because Babu, he was very attached to what to come a tomboy. So that's who brought him to America kusoma. And he was one of the best MPs Kenya would ever have. You know, like I said, he was an MP from North Mogrango. And he was a vibrant. Yeah, alikuwa anapendwa kisi muzima. When he died, a lot of kisses went to the funeral. But everybody knew that he was killed by the Kenyatta government. Because he had found the guy who killed Tomboya is socializing in either Malawi or Zimbabwe, Zambia. I mean, Zambia or Malawi, one of the two. He was socializing over there. And
the guy
who killed Tomboya.
Who killed Tomboya?
Yeah. And when George Morara came home, he called a press.
Who is the guy who killed Tomboya?
Alikuwa anaitwa Jenga, sijui Nahashon Jenga or something like that. I think alikuwa anaitwa Nahashon Jenga.
So this guy found him
they held he was charged with killing, and he was killed and buried. Sasa huyu nani akashangaa George Morara kumkuta akasema, hey mazee, we heard that you are dead, you are alive. When he came to Kenya, he had a news conference. Alafu akasema, by Wednesday I will produce the guy who would have to dig the grave of the guy who you buried somewhere, kusema ni ule aliua Tomboya. And then before that Wednesday they got that wrong is when they killed him. When then Wednesday came around, before Wednesday, that's when they killed him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So kwakamuua kabisa, not to, and there were no riots in Kisii na nini, but you knew that
no, you know that at that time nani Kenyatta alikuwa na yani ile mkono It was strong. It was strong. Alikuja hapa kwenu kufungua hospitali in Russian hospital. He killed a lot of people, and that's one of the disrespect I have for Raila Odinga. At least he could have had the investigation, because Kenyatta came to Kisumu with about 3 battalions of the army dressed in casual clothes. When the guys tried to throw him stones, eggs, they killed a lot of Luos, and you would never hear it come from Raila Odinga's mouth. Na hiyo tulishuhudia wangu walikuwa wanazungumza, we can hear them say, so there was no
Luos killed by Kenyatta.
Yes, when he came to Kisumu, he had sent about 2-3 battalions of the army in regular clothes. So when Kenyatta tried to speak, they threw him stones. There's a famous speech ambao unasikia akitukana Oginga Odinga sana. He had balls because he knew what he had done. He had come there with the army. Yeah. Before the hospital, Russian hospital, it was a gift from Russia. Lakini Kenyatta hakujua. So when the guys who were around Mr. Kenyatta realized that, they wanted to bomb it out of the ground. Kenyatta akamwambia wacha, don't do that. Alafu mzee Oginga Odinga akajua like this mzee knows. So akamwambia, ndio akamwalika, akamwambia hiyo hospitali tumechenga, lakini utakuja ufungue. Na akienda huko, that's when before they had killed, they had killed Tom Boy around that time. So he knew that it was Kenyatta knew he was going to a very hostile place. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember people talked about it in Kisumu and all that Kenyatta was brutal. He carried GSU and who massacred so many people in Kisumu. When one of the residents tried to eat him with a rotten egg, something
Exactly.
like that. Yeah, that incident was sad. But you see, so many people, so many Luos have died, and they've never been compensated by government. That's also another thing that we, the Luo community, have lost so many gallant soldiers, young people who the leadership do not even recognize. They have never come to recognize that we lost this kind of people. If the leadership under Raila Odinga were good enough, today we would be having a monument for Tom Mboya in Kisumu. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, we would have had some streets in where I come from named after Tom Mboya, the hero for the Luo community. And had Tom Mboya become the president of the Republic of Kenya, Penny, do you think Kenya would have been the same again?
Kenya would be a very different country. Na hiyo when mzee Oginga Odinga alisema he would not accept being president until Kenyatta comes out of jail, the British wanted to give Tom Mboya the leadership of Kenya. Now he went against Tom Mboya. When he was giving that speech, he was giving against Tom Mboya.
Oh, he was not. So Jaramogi did not want Tom Mboya to take leadership of the country.
Exactly.
So he wanted Kenyatta instead to take leadership of the country.
Exactly.
And that is why he gave that speech that we cannot have independence unless Uhuru Kenyatta, not unless Jomo Kenyatta is released from Kapenguria.
Yeah. And at that time we were young people. Some of us were privileged to have a radio. So because tunasikizaga kila kitu kinaendelea. Lakini mzalendo, what this wanasema ati Tom Mboya, Oginga Odinga alisema hiyo, and that's why Kenyatta was out of jail. No. Kenyatta was a puppet of the British, and they knew how ignorant he was against Tom Mboya. Now when Mzee Oginga Odinga gave that speech and he got out, so Tom Mboya flipped on him. He came very close to the Kuyu community of uh, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta until he wrote the constitution ya kwamba the president is above the law. Na hiyo mzee Ringo Odinga Kenyatta alikuwa atapatia huyu ushukani Tom Mboya, because he knew how Tom Mboya, how vibrant and smart Tom Mboya was, and the people that killed Tom Mboya were the people around the mzee. And when he realized that, they went on a spree of covering up. You know, of course, they came to realize that it is true. Tom Mboya was very close to the British. He was very close to the Americans. You know, when when I said that he was even on the payroll, yeah, CIA. But he was a very smart guy, because in the 60s and the 59 somewhere there, he was giving speeches at 60 minutes. Ukitafuta wewe kama journalist, tafuta hizo 60 minutes alikuwa ni Tom Mboya walikuwa wanamhoji, you know. But when they realized those who killed Tom Mboya were not Kenyatta directly, were people that were around Kenyatta. Then when they came to tell him the truth, he had to cover it up. That was it. Yeah, because they knew that Kenyatta was going to give the power to Tom Mboya, and they didn't want that.
So Kenyatta was going to give the power to
Tom Mboya.
So who killed? So you are confusing us, Penny. So Kenyatta
No.
Kenyatta did not kill Tom Mboya.
It was the people that were around Kenyatta.
So it was the people that were around Kenyatta that killed Tom Mboya.
Exactly.
Now you see the story that I have heard, and maybe you've heard this story. When do you know, before Tom Mboya had wind that he's going to be assassinated, and he fled the country. Do you know that?
No, I have never heard of that.
No, now let me tell you, Tom Mboya had wind that his life was in danger. So he took off and was out of the country. So he was out for, I think, a month or something. Then Jaramogi then got information. Jaramogi, being friends with Kenyatta, Kenyatta persuaded him to call Tom Mboya to come back to the country, that the country is burning without Tom Mboya. They used a very deep Luo word coined, and that made Tom Mboya to come back to Kenya. And it didn't last long. He was assassinated immediately. He came back. When he was going to that, he was from the laundry and now going to the chemist to get some medicine. That is when he met his death. So whoever lured Tom Mboya to come back to the country, it is rumored that it is Jaramogi who called him to come back, and he met his death through that. So
yes,
that is part of the history that I've heard so many people talking about it. But where there is smoke, there is always fire. Now let us come back to this Morara guy, this firebrand Kisi Morara. Now I feel that this is the guy that Gen Zs need to support to be the next to be their leader. I don't know whether you feel the same way too. I find him more mature than that the other guy
his age.
called.
He's too mature for his age of 28.
No,
Yeah,
he's too
he's deeper
mature
than
for his
Samuel.
age. Yeah, he's too mature. He's compared to Kasmuel. He's too mature.
Yeah,
He's focused on what he wants, and
yeah.
he said that he started this as a joke, but now it is gaining a lot of traction.
Yes.
He needs to be uh, and he's courageous. One thing I love about Morara is courageous. Immediately Ruto left Kisumu, he was there. I
Yeah,
said,
you
and
know,
Nikasema, oh, this guy is crazy. I mean, he's from which world is he coming from? Immediately Ruto left Kisumu, the guy was there.
hata hiyo Mabei ameenda kwa Miri Odhiambo, all these places,
He has gone. He
you
has
know.
gone to this place. The only place that he didn't go is he central tour, and you have Wenda. He said that his life is in danger. But
Yeah,
Morara has reached a space in his political career or his life that the government can no longer kill him. Do you know that?
we hope so.
No, no. This is somebody that it will be so obvious to kill him. It will be so obvious to kill him. It will be unless unless he's executed among other people. Maybe in a plane crash, imebeba ndege imebeba abiria karibu watu 20. That is the only way you can destroy somebody like this guy. But this guy, the way I'm looking at his politics, is going places.
Mzalendo,
And
he scared me when he went to Chucha at night, and you saw how many people were there.
and he doesn't care.
It
No, Juja, you know, there's already a fallout between Gashagwa and William Ruto, and that is something that I also want you to weigh in a bit. This fallout between Gashagwa and Ruto. These guys are no longer seeing eye to eye once again. Hmm?
yeah, Gachagua alidanganywa vile tulidanganywa wengine kutusupport Ruto, alidanganywa.
Hmm.
That seeing that Ruto is doing exactly what Kenyatta did, na hiyo ndio walikataa kwa mountain, ndio
Hmm.
ikawafanya wasikie mbaya sana. And all
Mhm.
the people, there is nothing wrong being opposition. You be opposition until you take over the government. But he brings these people together for what? To form a dictatorship kama ya Moi ambao alikuwa anatusumbua wengine tukiwa wadogo. It's not that we forgot. We remembered it, but we thought he changed or he grew up. You know, you Mzalendo, you cannot stay whatever you are for 20, 30 years. You change. You adapt to the situation of the day.
Mhm.
But this guy never ever changed. You know, ilikuwa we were young, but ilikuwa alikuwa anakuja na the guys ambao vijana wao walikuwa wanavaa red shirts. Huko nyumbani kwetu wengine nilikuwa natoka hapa Amerika saa ingine kwenda huko ushago, they will come to you in a market, wanaanza kusungumza kizungu alafu warudishie kizungu wakuue ama wakupige. I will talk to them in Kisii, naenda na wanunulia
Rai-
chai.
Raia wanasema ati Gachagua will be impeached soon.
No, they will.
Osam anasema Gachagua will be impeached soon. Do you think that can happen?
Ruto cannot be that stupid. If they try to impeach him, he will go with everybody from the mountain. And he has
Mm.
already done that. So,
Yeah, I saw
and
Ichungwa. I saw Ichungwa bragging the way he brought down one Uhuru Kenyatta. But you know, each and every moment in politics is different. You can't use the same tricks on the same on
exactly.
on another person. Maybe it worked with William Ruto because with Uhuru Kenyatta because he was working with Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
But
And Kenyatta was very ignorant. Ukiona kwamba hiyo public institution wengine walikutana huko KCC, alafu he doesn't even say hi to his vice president, his deputy president. Ni kama mwanamke ambao is rejected and she's pregnant. And,
mhm.
yani it was a very, very, very bad show.
I saw even the wife. I am telling you, even the wife did not greet Ruto.
Yes.
So the rift was so bad that they could not even greet each other in public, even
Yes,
pretend. Huh?
exactly. Lakini huyu unaona huyu nani Gachagua, he took him to Nyasa. Even if he has a difference ya Gachagua sana, Ruto brought him to Nyasa, and of course Gachagua gave him some of the best
Penny,
speeches.
Penny, tell me about the political formation that you see in 2027, and with this, with the new alliance between UDA and ODM. Do you think this is going to be a force to reckon in 2027?
Mzalendo, it was until this guy Morara showed up. It was. It was a
Huh?
very, very formidable force until Morara showed up. Morara Kebaso. This is one of the most strong, evolving uh, political formation in our country. About we don't know where Morara will get the deputy president from, but this is the formation about we have to watch.
Now
Vile
suppose
mtasema
sasa ndio umeongea. Suppose Morara achukue deputy wake akuwe Babu Owino.
now they cannot be from the same province.
Hmm?
They cannot,
Why not?
even if Babu Wino is from Nairobi, most people think whoever Morara picks up, I can pick Babu Wino, it's over like in the morning. You in the Kubari. But
If Morara teams up with Natembea.
Tembe is too primitive to me, for me.
Ah!
Because all, all he does, Mzalendo, all he does is criticize
Retract.
Wetengula, or he
Huh?
criticize Mudavadi. Why don't you go throughout the country come a Morara man? He only speaks in Luyaland and he criticizes these two, leaders from the Luya community. Hujaona huyu Babu Wino to criticize Raila? You can't. Even if you see all the mistakes that he has done, leadership is leadership.
So what you are saying is that Natembea. I want to correct you a bit. Natembea is new in politics. Morara is Morara is not an elected leader. Natembea is an elected leader and is a governor for Tanzania. He needs to represent Tanzania. Immediately he starts campaigning boundaries of Tanzania, people will start saying that he has abandoned his job and duty as the governor to serve the people, the good people of Tanzania. So he need not to move out of Tanzania campaigning for positions like the presidency. But what he's doing, and within Tanzania, is consolidating the Luya vote in Western, because one, you live in a country of data and a country that uses statistics. Netebea is saying they are the second largest population in Kenya, but they have not used their numbers effectively. Same to Gashagua, they are saying we have the numbers. These are my numbers, so this is what gives me the bargaining power. If you go to Raila, he tells the Luo community just yesterday while he was in Bondo, he was telling the Luo community that there is no way that we can divide each other we can be divided at this particular time. This is what gives us bargaining power. And he went on to narrate how the Luos migrated, how they settled to where they are at the moment. So all these leaders are trying to look at to go back to their base, to go back to their basic roots, and to galvanize their tribal bases in order to be ready for 2027. That is my take.
Maybe what I will say is that the way the Morara has come along and he has visited everywhere in Kenya and they have all accepted him. is a very very formidable force. Ni ile tu tunasema vile unauliza mzuri sana, who does it team up with? Let him team up with anybody, but it has to be somebody that is clean and sio kama hii watu yote ambao are in order. No, none of the above. Na why I don't like nani Natembea. If you like you said, he's a governor, he's this that, but he has come out. Why did he come out so early? If he cannot go around the country, why did he come so early? If he's already unifying the lawyers, if you want to be a leader of a country, you have to go everywhere. Or he should have not come out so early if he could not be able to travel or go.
Now this is where we have the raw politics, the real deal. Now, Ruto in 2027 wants Mudavadi to be the VP. There is a serious wave of Natembea. Currently, Malala, who was the Secretary General for UDA, was kicked out. Do you read the politics around that?
Yeah, Marara na huyu Echesa, they were really childish to say the least, because vile tulisema huyu nani George, huyu mtoto ya grandkid ya George Morara. He talks very mature for his age. Lakini huyu, the Marara guy, was attacking those who were very strong in government. You cannot be their Secretary General and want to fire so and so. There were some people he was talking against. Na unafikiri ya kwamba, is this the president who knew what he was saying? Come find out that he didn't. And they had gone to bed with huyu Natembea, Nani, and that's why he was talking the way he was talking. No. To me, if you have to talk very strongly against the people in government, you have to have the government at hand to zungumza namna hii.
Osam has posted a comment there. He's saying, our great people of Kisii have to change their way of thinking. Otherwise, if they remain self-centered, it would work. The Luya or the Luyas have a very high chance of producing the next president. Awesome, I agree with you 101%. The next president of the Republic of Kenya will be a Luya, and I've told people this, and wanaona ni mchezo. If the Luyas play their card properly, they are producing the next president. They are producing. They are in the seat right now. They are in control, and Ruto has put them strategically. Mudavadi is his foreign minister. Wetangula is the speaker, but he has also realized that he needs another force so that he can capture the Western movement. The person that he needs most right now is Bear, and that game is over for the people of Western.
Wacha nirudishie Awesome ya kwamba Wakisi is not very easy to change them. So vile wameona, if they have identified somebody as this, that, they will continue to do that, even if it's one Kisii left. Unajua vile Kenya mzima wanazungumza juu ya Kisii. And that's where we are. So, yani kama huyu Awesome, no. Kama huyu nani Morara, kama Maraga, say for example, they come from the same place. Maraga, Matiang'i, na huyu Morara, they come from North Mogrango. Kama Maraga, what he said when they were giving him the chargeship, he said he's a Seventh-day Adventist, and if the case is on Saturday, he will not go. And that's who Kisii are. Hiyo ndio kila mtu anasema Kisii are hard-headed, nini. But they say something that is right.
No, that Maraga is somebody of integrity. and they are very, very rare. In Kenya, maybe they are 2% of the population. Mm.
Yes. Na huyu mtoto ambao is before his time, I think he will develop to be that kind of integrity ambao amekubalika Kenya mzima, na ni mtoto mdogo sana, is 28 years old, you know, and he talks
We are
very.
surprised, and we need to look for Morara. Morara, if you are anywhere, please come to Africa, so that we can have some good time here, and we sell you to the world to know who you really are and what you are offering to the Kenyan people. That is what we are yearning for: an alternative voice. Now, in a country where we don't have an opposition, then I think fits the bill. He is the new opposition leader in Kenya because he has proved that he can take on the government in the absence of ODM in the opposition bench. Mm.
Na
So I think that is very, very good for our politics. The hygiene in Kenyan politics is shaping up in the right direction. Penny. Mm.
yeah, I think that's a very good idea. We'll look for him, at least give me at least 2 weeks kwa sababu we want to talk to him na to market mzuri, watu wajae hapa, alafu you run the show the way you are running it. And ukiwa outside Kenya, we have more power than we really focus on. Na akisikia hii ni international show inalindwa kutoka America nini nini, they will come. Na kina
Yeah, there's
Oza
freedom. Yeah, we have the freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom to say whatever you want to say, but civilly, but with civility. Yeah. Mm.
yeah,
You can't just say anything, but you have the freedom, but
yeah,
lazima uiseme with a lot of respect to the other person too. So
yes,
we want to encourage that. If you want to participate on Africa, please don't feel shy. We agree that you can come here, speak in Kiswahili, speak in whatever other language that you feel comfortable in speaking, at least for us to understand you. That is important for us because we love our country, Kenya. That's why we talk about it each and every day. People in the comment section also play a very important role to keep us on check on some of these particular issues, and they give the important opinion on issues that sometimes we miss out. So we need to be upfront before the 2027 elections. Have a good team that is able to discuss the political issues without fear or without favor, so that we have a balanced discussion. We don't mind you coming to Africa and your UDA. We don't mind you coming here and your ODM. We don't mind any wiper leader or supporter coming here and giving us Kalonzo's manifesto. I have not seen many wiper supporters in this particular discussion, and that is why Kalonzo is missing out a lot because his people, the people who support Kalonzo Musyoka, are not out to sell their candidate. We hear of William Ruto, we hear of Netebea, we hear of a bit of Mudavadi, a lot of Raila Odinga, but we don't hear anything about Kalonzo on the social platform. And leaders, if you are ignoring YouTube, if you are ignoring YouTube and TikTok and X, then you are missing out. You're missing out on the most important spaces on the social platform. So you need to embrace technology. Like Penny, you're seeing what is happening in American politics right now. Can you
Oh,
briefly just tell our viewers what is happening? You are in America. You are in the middle of a democracy, a democratic election process that is happening in November. How is Kamala Harris and her numbers?
what is happening now, Zarendo, is something. Some of us have been here for a long time, over 30 years, going to 40, but I have never noticed anything like this. Come on, in Republican, in Republican. Come on, in Democrat, in Democrat. But now, nearly all the Republican leaders, George Bush, Dick Cheney, Dr. Yake Msichana Yake, everybody is supporting Kamala Harris. And we have to be prepared to know that Kamala Harris is going to be the president of this country. Sasa hiyo vile umesema, that is what we want. We want to invite kama huyu Morara akuja azungumze kama hii vice president. Minnesota ina produce very good vice presidents. Now, so what you asking me relevancy right now? Huyu Kamala Harris alipatiwa. I mean, this guy is breaking down. Is really ni mgonjwa, amekuwa mzee, and he's doing everything wrong. You know, everything. Everybody kwa Republican wanakimbia huko, wanasema hii ni cult, and it is very true. You know, the guy, he's saying everything wrong. Kwa sababu up to Clinton, there was all the people that came, the president came from the military. Everybody, George Bush, everybody came from the military, and some of the military. Lakini huyu anaenda huku Arlington, Virginia, he casts out the military, and he disrespects them, you know. And kusema ukweli, mzalendo, we'll not call it any other way other than huyu Kamala Harris atashinda.
You had let's listen to her acceptance speech, a bit of it. It's very interesting.
My entire career, I've only had one client, the people. And so, on behalf of the people, on behalf of every American, regardless of party, race, gender, or the language your grandmother speaks, on behalf of my mother and everyone who has ever set out on their own unlikely journey, on behalf of Americans like the people I grew up with, people who work hard, chase their dreams, and look out for one another, on behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America.
You just saw Kamala that acceptance speech was very touching, very emotional. Awesome. Let me tell you one thing about Donald Trump. The reason why the polls are that way. I remember Trump was ahead in the polls when Biden was there. He was ahead in almost all these swing states. Now, Kamala Harris has flipped most of the swing states, and She's leading within margin of error in some of them +6, in others +2, +3, which Biden didn't have, even when Biden won the election. So this tells you a lot. And you also need to know that Kamala has tapped into a different demography that never voted in America before. That is the Gen Z. That is a big factor in this election. It's a very big factor that you will not ignore. So when you say that Trump is leading. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. This is the national tally, and I think I missed it because when I gave Kamara 51, while she's at 52 right now nationally. Trump is at 46. That tells you a lot. But this election, according to poll analysts and those who predict elections, there's this gentleman who was predicted for 10 elections in America, and he has only missed one. He said that this election, Kamala Harris. So who are we? See, we are on the path of Kamala because Kamala represents me and Penny. We like her view, we like her stance, we like her smile, we like the joy that she brings in the politics. So people for Donald Trump, we wish you the best. You can continue mourning and grinning with that face. You can have that face or have this particular face. So which one are you going for? This face or this face?
Na ambia 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 Ozam ya kwamba either Obama was elected by young generation college students at that time ambao he could go, and I remember when Obama won the elections alafu wakampatia Nobel Prize akapewa sumuse at watoto wakakata, yani hawakutaka aende kusungumuza huko Arizona University, na watoto wakasema they would not graduate until their commencement speech would be given by Obama only. And I still remember vividly kwamba Obama knew that the leadership of the college, the Arizona University, hawakumtaka kabisa. Wasema what has he done to be given a Nobel Prize? Now Obama went there and gave one of the best speeches you could ever think. He congratulated everybody that he knew were against him. And when he came to the students, they were hands up. So also lazima ajue kwamba huyu Donald Trump is tested. He has his own people, the rednecks and stuff like that. Even those who they have done the surveys ya kwamba even the non-college educated white old people are for Kamala Harris. Those are the people that were voting for Donald Trump. Sasa anayo ile racist peke yake, wale watu ya KK ndani kabisa ndio ako nao. I have so many guys of like that, of that nature, ambao mzalendo nishakwambia I took a lot of money from them when I bet them against Biden. Now wazungu mzuri kwamba they will pay. You know, they say you Africans don't understand anything about our politics. I'll be like, no, just watch what the people are saying on YouTube. Na ni wazungu peke yake. So Kamala Harris has won hands down. Vile umesema huyu mzee nani Joe Biden alikuwa mzee sana, and the people were not even for him. Those that were not going to vote for Joe Biden now are in fire to vote for Kamala Harris.
Now, yes, now, Penny, let me just just stress on your point. Osam is asking a question here, which maybe you weigh in. He's saying, don't cherry pick. Trump has gone through polls, and the polls, according to the press, are tight. What are your thoughts about that, Mzalendo? I have followed these elections, and it's one thing that I listen to each and every time, even the conservatives. I listen to what they are pushing out there as their message and what they are worried about. What they are worried about right now is that Harris is gaining ground and Trump has changed his talking point. If you are saying that Harris is avoiding the press, why should she be in the press and she's you don't want to expose yourself to make a mistake outside there. You need to safeguard your But come Tuesday is the big debate. Come Tuesday, you will see the gap is changing a lot. It can if Trump shows up on the debate stage, then Harris has a rough time with Trump, then definitely that will change a bit of things. But as at the moment, Mr. Trump is not gaining anything. He has got his base intact with Osam and Kenya Revolutionary. That base will never change. It is the same. They are not adding any value. They are not adding any numbers to Donald Trump. It is the base that he used to have. And remember one thing about this election. Before Donald Trump became the president, and this is the reason why he won. He won because people expected him to make some good changes in the economy. He didn't succeed so well in the economy, maybe because some people would say it's because of COVID and all that. But Biden changed all things around, and America today has got the best economy in the world. In the world right now, America has got the best. Harris is changing some of our policies, not to tie it with Joe Biden's policy on the issues of the economy, on the issues of food prices. She's talking about on the issue of immigration. The only thing that you people of Trump have, and you keep on knocking our doors with it, is on the issue of immigration. Which, again, you failed terribly. You failed terribly. You can come in because I can talk about this on and on, and stop. Mm.
Na huyu kama Uzam, na I'm surprised kama revolutionary yeye ako na Donald Trump, hiyo ni surprise sana kwangu. Lakini
No,
Uzam,
the Kenya Revolutionary will always be on the opposite side. I am sure he's going to vote for Kamala Harris. The states where he lives is a democratic zone right now. We have already flipped.
yeah, hiyo vile Uzam, yani watu kama Uzam, say for example, mimi I like to bet, I can bet them kama dola 100 ama cup of coffee ya kwamba huyu nani atashindwa. He is not adding anything. He is only speaking to his inner core. Watu wanapewa, that they hate foreigners, hate the Muslims, hate the Mexicans, hate everybody. Those are the people that Trump is speaking to. Na sasa, when he went to Florida, he was speaking as if he is for the women rights. Kwamba abortion ni sasa ni mzuri, wacha wafanye hivi. He cannot. He's really preaching to people that really hate him. Sasa,
I wonder why this guy, somebody who cannot even construct 2 sentences. Somebody who talks like a garden kid, we don't know class 6, yani at class 3. He was being asked about the day I was watching. He's being asked.
Yesterday he went to court. He embarrassed even his lawyers.
I would even look at, and now he's going to place a prosecutor on the debate stage. Because, my friend, me, if I was Donald Trump, I would hang on to what I have. Maybe my people will turn up in the election day. But to face Kamala Harris in the debate stage, and the only good part that they insisted that the mic will be off. This time round, the mic will be off because they don't want and they are saying it publicly. They don't want their presidential candidate to embarrass himself or to look unpresidential.
Huyu nani alikuwa hiyo Kamala Harris alikuwa anataka hiyo mic iwe on. Na huyu because he's loose. He doesn't Mzalendo. The guy is really sick. He can't control himself. And you cannot believe that this guy was in charge of the nuclear power for the last 4 years. He's a loose cannon.
As
long as I can remember.
This guy
The American
is,
hate the Russians, lakini wanasema hiyo Russians ndio wanampatia pesa hela nyingi sana.
so unajua kama the other day I heard that the Russian. So hey, by the way, you guys in America, Kenya Revolutionary, did you hear Siri? Did you hear, was it Alexa? Alexa the other day was being asked a question that Alexa, who do you support in this election? Alexa anasema I support anasema he supports Kamala Harris because of the issues on the economy, on the issue of abortion, human rights, nini nini. Alexa said all that. Then Alexa is being asked, Alexa, do you support Donald Trump? Alexa went mute. Alexa, do you support Donald Trump? I think they will be suing. Is it Amazon? They'll be suing Amazon because of Alexa's story. Alexa is the one now that killed them. Even Donald Trump commented about it because Alexa was being asked about the election. They don't have anything about Donald Trump, but they were supporting Kamala Harris. So that is interesting. And then for Donald Trump giving positions to Elon Musk in government, then Elon Musk saying that he would want to serve America as an American without any particular salary. I'll be please give us a break, you people of Donald Trump. But any break kiasi inaitwaje? Watu wa Tesla, they need to give us a break. Yeah. Penny. How is your state doing?
This maybe we will get rid of this guy Abayo, the senator hapa, and there's somebody from Dallas anaitwa Oral might be a senator, might be because wako wako karibu sana. They are even now. The other guy was ahead, but now they are even. So itakuwa, it will be a miracle. The last statewide election ambayo Democrat alishinda alikuwa anaitwa, it was maybe 89 kitu kama hiyo, alikuwa anaitwa Anna Richards ndiye alishinda hapa, lakini from then all you have to do is be a Republican and you will win any seat you want. Lakini huyo Herald anakuwa very close, alikuwa anafanya kazi na Obama. Sasa ni congressman. Sasa ni congressman. Ni congressman. So it's very close. Iko karibu kupiga huyu Republican.
The media, Trump has always been fighting. You can never fight the media to win. You will never succeed in that war. The media can destroy you. They can destroy you.
You know who did that last? Alikuwa anaitwa Richard M. Nixon.
Oh, my name he was supposed to resign.
He resigned. He took off. He was the one who was bad about the media. Like he resigned. Because the media is the one.
Media will create you. Media will rebuild your profile. Media can destroy you within
exactly. Exactly. Unajua hao watu ni wazee sana siku hizi. Hiyo Bob Woodward na mwingine. They were just out of college and they will go to a social gathering. The people on the next table, they are talking about how they had broken in for the Democratic headquarters. Now these guys from students wakaja kujua kwamba sasa wakaanza kuwanulia kitu. And those are the people who really embarrassed Nixon. Mpaka Nixon yakatoka. Because these guys, they didn't know who they were talking to. These were college students. Alikuwa moja anaitwa Bob Goodwin. Mpaka siku hizi anaandikanga tu vitabu vingi sana ya politics. Bob Goodwin na mwingine sijui shida imepotea kidogo. Lakini these are the guys that when they kept writing for in the Washington Post. Na hiyo when Washington Post was a best friend with
Nixon. Sasa hii vijana wametoka college walikuwa wanaandika hii what they had done, yani hiyo Watergate ilikuwa headquarters ya Democratic Party. Wanaenda huko lakini they are going to fix something, lakini walikuwa watu ya intelligence, walikuwa wanaweka vitu ya kusikiza, and the next day Nixon will say the same thing until he won the elections. I think it was 74, 70, yeah, 74, somewhere around there. So when they realized 72, 74 is when he left. When they realized what had happened, it was too late. Sasa wote, you know, hii nani anafanya Donald Trump ni pule. Back then, all those people that were around Nixon walienda jela because of that. Walikuwa naulizwa, did you know this happened? Did you know this? Wengine came out and said yes, and no, so and so knows, Zeleno knows, you know. So that's why huyu nani kuattack the media is completely useless, and those people that are around him in any huyu Donald Trump are the people that don't like the media. They formed he Fox News. When I say my Fox News, I say my Fox Noise. Started when we were in college, because what these people, what the Modak realized was there was nobody who was addressing white uneducated people, because we had NBC, CBS, ABC. When they were giving their news, the afternoon news, they were giving it to very educated people. Sasa huyu Modak came close, anajua the majority of the Americans ni watu ambao hawakwenda shule, and they produced this propaganda station yao, and it is now this is the first time wamepigwa, you know, they have been number one, lakini sasa NBC amewapita.
Inaitwa kama ile
MSNBC.
Yeah, that those guys, they analyze the politics, man. If you want, you know, American politics is like a movie. You can watch it throughout. It comes with a lot of entertainment in it. And Trump comes with a lot of entertainment. That anasema, I mean, guys, you have to vote for me. I mean, why? I mean, anybody with common sense just have to vote for Donald Trump.
Don't say that.
Yeah, he was saying that. He was saying over there.
Wacha nikwambie didi yangu, my friends wengi ni watu ya Donald Trump. Hao watu walinipea pesa ni 2020, ni watu ya Donald Trump ndani kabisa. Kuna mmoja transfer to Rally Durham, anasema kuja nitembelee, lakini siwezi kuchukua nyumbani kwa sababu maako sareni keke.
But mimi nashindwa watu kama huyu Kenya Revolutionary na Awesome, how they support Donald Trump. Ukiangalia tu vizuri, his grandfather never employed any black person in his life.
His father in the 60s, I think, they were taken to court because the apartments that they were having, they would never let the black people. And it was in that row. Wale watu wa ndani ndio walikuwa they gave evidence against them, and they were fined. His father, Imariota amepata ni kama father, his dad had apartments in New York. That's who gave him the money. He was against the black person. Never rented it to anybody black. No.
Yeah, and then you hear my black brothers here
Come
saying, you know, Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump represents what these other people cannot say in front of you, Mr. Kenya Revolutionary and all that. Those are the things that they cannot say on your face. If one who is able to say them. All right, that is the reason why they support him. Whether you like it or not, this election is about it's very racist in the way it has been coined. It does not create that kind of balance. Yes.
Zalendo bila kuchekesha. A lot of these white boys like nani Donald Trump kwa sababu he speaks their language. He speaks what they want to hear. Now, sasa, they will come and talk to me very freely because what wanajua ni I'm black, but I don't come from America. I come from Africa. So wananiambia, you know what Trump, Obama is going to do? He's going to go to the White House and smoke a lot of cocaine and have a lot of kids. Wauliza, can you say that in front of these black people? I said, pana. I will go report you. Wanasema no, we would say that we never told you that. So what Donald Trump is doing is giving a genre of uneducated white people.
Yeah.
And those are
Most uneducated people, like my brother down there, support support Donald Trump because he represents them. He speaks like them. He wants to be them. So awesome. Awesome is telling me Sony PK is that is waiting for a coup to happen in our country so that he can return. You're talking about people who speak a lot of, you cannot speak a lot of violence and you're hiding here in America. You better try to balance the conversation of the tone because since if you are safe here in America, people at home are not safe. You can say whatever you want to say because you are in the US, but you cannot ignite or fuel violence back at home, and you are comfortably back here enjoying freedom. Mm. Now, awesome. Trump is the greatest leader in the US. Penny, you have been here long enough. Can you tell us whether Trump is the greatest leader in the US history?
mimi nakwambia mzalendo ni wale uneducated white people will say that. They will say that. They will in their face. Wanakwambia, they will, ile vitu yote Trump anasema, they will say them. Ile vitu yote unaangalia kwa Fox Noise, unaita news, Fox Noise, they will say it. Wakazi, they will say their TVs on Fox Noise. Hiyo propaganda ndio wanakula every day, every time. They like that. And that's what kama mzalendo kama huyu awesome anapenda hiyo kitu ya Donald Trump, you join a group that is really, really dangerous to you, to yourself. Is a very anasema a Mexican judge would not be fair to him because he's Mexican. How can you say that? Even if you know that he will do that, and anatukana hii wanawake the black ladies about the journalists. Na sasa kesi yake moja iko kwa ile Mexican, a lady from Jamaica. The guy is really insane. He's really sick.
Mpaka anasema this is not my type. This is not my type. He says that huyo mwanamke is no, this is not my type. Anaweza endea mwingine lakini not this one. Lakini Trump is just interesting to watch. It's interesting to watch him talk about whatever he wants to talk about. But what we have realized about this democracy, it is real democracy. Hii hapana mchezo. The people here are talking about the issues that affect the people. They are talking about real issues. When it comes to policy, every leader has to articulate their policies well, and the media is out there analyzing what each and every leader is saying. And that is what we want to bring in Kenyan politics. We want to analyze what Raila Odinga is saying, what William Ruto is saying. If saying a wrong thing, we analyze it, just like the Morara guy is doing. I know so many people are not happy about Morara, but Morara has stepped in with a lot of cautious that our politics needs some kind of hygiene. The issue of a politician picking up a microphone and we all cheer the political leaders, and some other people tell you Raila akienda left tunaenda left, akienda right, akiingia kwa shimo tunaingia na yeye. That is absolutely nonsense. If you listen to leaders, real leaders of this world, and that is why I've seen on the comment section that people are begging Kamala Harris to answer questions in the press. Kamala Harris is not afraid to answer any particular question that has been posed to her. It is only that she's not talking to Fox News, but she's talking to CNN and other medias that are not friendly, are perceived to be unfriendly to the Republican base. That is why you hear Osam, you hear Kenya Revolutionary saying that she's afraid of the press. Somebody who has been the vice president, somebody who has been the senator of the United States cannot be afraid of the press. Somebody who has questioned corrupt leaders in court, you want to tell me that will be afraid to answer simple questions from the media? That is that's crazy. That is a Republican talking point, and that is the rumors that they are peddling. And we wait for you on Tuesday. Show up for the debate. Show up for the debate. Make sure that your presidential candidate is presidential. Let's see how the debate goes. But so far, Kamala is leading in the polls, although it's tight.
Mzalendo. Hello?
Yes. Go ahead. Benny,
I will, I will
there is
read
a TV. Kuna TV kwa background yako iko on. There's a gadget that is on that inaleta echo kidogo per se.
No, ilikuwa simu ilikuwa inalia. But
Oh,
wacha nikwambia kwamba I'll hold you on to this one. I'll hold you personally to this one. It's only 6 days left to the elections. Nataka ukumbuye huyu Awesome na kama ni Awesome na Kenya Revolutionary, I will beat them hands down. Nitawanunulia coffee wakishinda. Hata kama hawatanunulia ni that's water under the bridge. Lakini this one Mzalendo, I want you to remember this date, how you Awesome wakuje na Kenya Revolutionary. I'll beat them. We'll beat them. Because
no. The issues are there. Go ahead.
everything that he's doing is against the American electoral system. Yote. Even the Republicans have left him. The majority of the senior, all the people, even his vice president, amemwaja. So you tell me that if he wins, it would be really a cult leader. Ile watu ambao wanasikiza vile vitu anasema yote. And I don't see how he will win. I don't really. So Mzalendo, hii tarehe 7 September ikumbuke, in the 60 days from now, and that's not too long. We'll be around. We'll see how these guys will win. They will not NOT.
That's just 2 months. Just 2 months away. And unajua kwanza, if Donald Trump wins, just God forbid by any means ashinde hii election, kwanza hiyo nywele ya anaitwaje huyu nywele ya Kenya Revolutionary, you will be stopped huko. Hey, you don't look American, hebu kuja hapa bwana, tunakurudisha nyumbani. why Why are you in this? Why are you walking in this street? Hmm? By Nyagaka to bet $20. Oh my God, you're losing that bet. You're losing that bet. Hmm? A $20 bet there for you, Nyagaka from Kenya Revolutionary, and make sure that you pay. The last time I had a bet with people who support Republicans, they lost. They have never come back to me again, and they are embarrassed that they had to they had to place that bet. At what at Zalendo? Do you believe the press when it comes to the polls? Mrs. Clinton and Biden were ahead by several points, but now the race is tight. What has changed? Listen, people. Trump was ahead in the polls, and you were embracing those polls. Then they were just okay for you because they were ahead. And Trump used to talk about them. Did you see the CNN polls? We are ahead. Did you see the SNBC polls? We are ahead. Now the same media outlets are showing you the polls the way they are playing, and the states that are already in play, like with New Hampshire, states that which were not places that which were not in play are already in play in favor of Harris. Ha- Awesome. If you have been into an election is about enthusiasm. You see the way Ruto was voted in, you have to create that drive. If you don't have that drive that will drive people to the polls, whether it is for the right reason or the wrong reasons, that is what is needed. If that drive is not there, Biden did not have that drive, and you imagine that Biden did not have that drive, and he was polling. He was below Trump by 3 points, 2 points. Can you imagine? And he did not have that drive. People looked at him as an old man. People did not even want to vote because there are people who are saying Trump and Biden are too old. They don't want any of them. But now there is a candidate who is new, who is not old, but who is a Democrat with progressive thoughts. Now there are the people in the U.S. who are very progressive in their mind. They needed a progressive leader, and at some point we thought that Harris would pick the governor for Pennsylvania, yeah, Ben Shapiro, and look at all the issues that play around in American elections. Why some people are not picked up, and why Donald Trump went for JD. So you wanted to appeal to the college middle class American citizens who happen to have a good life, good job, good family, people who look like JD. That is the base that he really wanted because he has got his MAGA base that will vote for him come rain, come shine. But when you see you losing your base, like Republican leaders who have not endorsed Trump, and they have got a support base. People like Pence, when they don't support you, you should be worried. People like the former president Bush, when they don't support you and the Republicans, you should be worried. There are people who really admire Bush, just like the Obamas. When they come out to support you, your opponent is worried because when Obama takes to the stage, he will talk to his base. When the wife takes to the stage, she will talk to the women and the men who follow her and who admire her character. So that is what politics is all about here. So if you don't have all that, then this election is not going to be different from what happened in 2020. It's going to be a close call, but I believe that Kamala Harris will win. In 2020, 2016, people did not know Trump much. People have been through his leadership. They have seen what he can do. They have seen his good side and his bad side. There are people who are telling you, "Hey, I supported this guy because I thought he was going to do ABCD." But now they walked through his leadership. Was it any better? They will tell you, no, they cannot elect that person. He has been tested, in short. He has been tested and he lost the election. And apart from that, he has got so many, many cases. There are people who will tell you that they can never vote for a felon. So those are the things that are in on the ballot this come November. So even if you are supporting Donald Trump out there, just remember that you are on the ballot. You better choose wisely and choose the right person to lead America. Yeah, Penny, you have something? Now, Laban Misiani is saying, I am an ODM member, but this guy Morala will change the voting. I agree with you. Thank you. You are also another difficult guy to convince. So, Laban Misiani, this guy called Morara is deadly. He is lethal. He is very, very dangerous and he's articulate on the issues. He's young, only 28 years of age. He's articulating the issues. He's correcting the government, is capable of being a leader in Kenya, and that is what we have been lacking. We have been lacking somebody who cannot be bought. We have been lacking some. We have been lacking this person who can stand up and say the way things are. Somebody who can correct the government without fear, and we have Morara now. We don't care whether you are in opposition or you are in government and you are in the opposition. At the same time, you can be there. You can be in both. Mnaweza jipasua mkue pande zote mbili. We don't care. We care the less. We have Morara now. Morara is representing the views of other Kenyans, the alternative voice of the people. So Morara, keep it up. One time we would want you here on Freak 24 because here we speak the truth. We want to clean up the leadership in Kenya. Here in America, we call it cleaning up the swamp. We want to clean up the swamp in Kenya, the dirty politics that has been happening in our country. We are moving on in this particular country, yet there we have still so many people missing. So many young people are still missing from the demonstration, and you are moving on like it is just okay. It is just normal. It is not normal. There are some people who have to ask the right questions. If you are comfortable in Kenya today, you are most likely a senator, a governor, an MP, or an MCA, or occupying a CS position. So you saw what was presented in Kenya in terms of leadership. What they presented is a bunch of billionaires coming to occupy seats toward what they have in what they to add some more wealth into their bank accounts and their pockets. So we need to be very, very careful. The leadership has veered off the tracks. William Ruto has veered off the rail, and we need to get him back on the rail. There is no way that he is going to win the 2027 elections with the Gen Zs or not on board, with the likes of Morara uh, saying what he has been promising. And what he has been promising is larger than the Kenyan budget that he tabled in Parliament. So those promises are very, very huge. We need to fight corruption. We need representation in government. The current leaders are representing their stomachs and the people who are around them. There is no transparency in government when it comes to tender. when it comes to the debts that the country owes. Now the opposition that was in the minority leadership are the ones who are going to present the debt that Kenya owes, how much they have paid, and how much taxes they need to tax Kenya in order to get out of the red. So that is the challenge we have for John Mbadi and Opio Wandai. He needs to explain to us a lot why there are blackouts in Kenya. When they were on the bench, they were very, very vocal. We need Sifuna back on the studios telling us what the government is doing wrong, like he used to do. We need to see a lot of that. If we don't have that, then the only voice of the people that we have is Morara. Penny, your last word. We have got 6 minutes to wind up today's show.
Huyu nani Raban Misiani is a diehard ya ODM, alikuwa ananipiga sana siku ingine, lakini sasa kama is supporting this young guy Morara, we really congratulate him, na lazima kuja hivyo hivyo. Na the question I asked you ni Kenya Revolution, did he pay me? Mzalendo, did the Kenyan Revolution pay me $20?
Yes, $20. You have $20 produced in November. Lose. And it will happen live here on Africa.
Hapana, hiyo ninakubali na appreciate that a lot. Hiyo ni pesa tu ya kunywa pombe kidogo naye. Na wacha niseme ya kwamba in Kenya today, vile waliandika hiyo constitution ya Kenya, it's a copyright ya America. Na hiyo it only brings the best of any society to lead us in as far as leadership is concerned. Na Kenya today, the best ambayo imekubaliwa everywhere from the east to coast to north to south, the huyu Morara Kebaso. And that's where we are going, and we are going there fully. Wacha nimalizia kusema ya kwamba Mzalendo, you are doing a good job and keep coming. Nitakutafutia huyu Morara tuone kama atakuja hapa, alafu unampatia forum ya kutosha, alafu anazungumza yale anasema. He's very, very, very mature for his age. I have a son who is 28. He's already in medical school right now. Atamaliza 2027. So ukizungumza na yeye siasa kitu kama hiyo, anasema daddy, what are you talking about? Ajui. Lakini huyu Morara vile anazungumza, he understands what is. Ni sio Kasamuel hiyo vile umesema ni kweli. Huyu Kasamuel anasema TB mtiarara, that's all he can say. Comrade, that is just used and tired language for some of us. We want to hear the ideas about like what this Morara guy is doing. Like Wamba, let us have the best life that we could have or we should have, not necessarily the life that is delivered to us. Let us improve as to where we are going from where we were coming from yesterday. Now, my friends, to see what is happening in Kenya today, and to see what, say, for example, the countries like in America, they have done, vile walikuja wakakopi constitution. Na wengine hatuheshimu watu kama huyu nani senator ya Nairobi sana, because he will come to the radio station, TV station, and anasema, and show me the document shows that the ODM is together with the UDA. What document do you need when you have all the leadership? Yeah, ODM is in UDA. Dude, this is semantics. This semantics nonsense. This is a government of UDA and ODM. Any debate is a useless debate. Kwa sababu this guy black is the leadership ya ODM wakaingia hapa ndani. Anasoma na new Yusufuna akisema hiyo huyu Senkuli sijui Wakajiado is saying the same language. Show me the document. What document do you need? It is what it is. Period. So they are using a tactic ya kwamba hii UDA ikianguka wanaangushwa. They will say that they failed. When they are using that document to say if it succeeds, if UDA succeeds, they will say that ODM had to come there to make you success. Hiyo ni semantics ambao is nonsensical to say the least. Lazima tujue kwamba we are going to get in a better situation. It is kama mtoto. You raise a kid. Mzalendo. They grow up teeth wanalia. You go to first grade wanakusumbua. All this is what we are going through in Kenya. It's only 60 years after for independence. Na tunaendelea. We will get better because we are not where Uganda is. We are not where Rwanda. Rwanda is kitu moja. Corruption in Rwanda is very toughly dealt with, and the legal system is very, very clean. Na hiyo ndio nasema kwamba Mzee Kenyatta at least vile nilikwambia vitu mbaya alifanya. What he did good is he let the institutions survive. For example, waje nikumalizia ya kwamba unajua huyu mzee wa kwenu alikuwa anaitwa Okiki Amayo na Fia Basiayo. Fia Basiayo hapo Karajuonyo alishinda Okiki Amayo. Na Okiki Amayo was the right hand man ya Moi at that time. Nani Moi wakakataa, wakaenda kotini Kisumu. Instead of the guy throwing the case out, alisema go repeat the elections. And my friend, he was transferred very far. Mara alisiu wapi. Lakini wakirudi hiyo elections, mzalendo, Fia Basiayo alipita huyu Okiki Amayo even triple. Na huyu mzee akufanya kitu, akaja. You know, Mzee Kenyatta, there was one time Justice Nyarangi alikuwa Kisii. Wakashika sijui Kariuki Chotara or somebody that were in jail with Kenyatta. But they knew that they were going to take him to Nairobi and railroad him. Nyarangi akasema no. This guy who's going to charge him in Nairobi, he was a tune in my class. I will judge this guy. Nyarangi gave the guy probation, akamwacha. The Kenyatta never did anything to Nyarangi. If anything, he gave him promotion to be provincial justice huko Rift Valley. So we have gone backwards with Moi. Na Moi alikuja kwa hii kesi mini kiti mzalendo waja nikwambie because the Kikuyus wanted to have the Rift Valley land and they did ili ya wazungu. And that's the only reason why Moi was promoted to where he was. And you have seen how he has taken the country backwards. Na niyo Kibaki alikuja akatusalimia akatufanyia kidogo mzuri. And then Ruto, the really mistake ya Ruto ni kwamba he knew how naive Kenyatta was, Uhuru. Then he promoted him so that he could have the mountain to support him the next time. And this is the end. Namurara will do this to the end. Kenyatta was very naive up to today. Now, huyu Nani Ruto about brought him ahead so that he can give him leadership. Will finish him. Murara will finish him completely. Kwa sababu hii Amerika tunasumbusa ya nani ya huyu Harris, Kamala Harris, na huyu is vice president. They are very clean. They are very clear to the point. Na hiyo ndio tutaendelea. Na huyu nani Kenya Revolutionary, na huyu Osam kama anataka kuingia hapo ndani aingie. Na wachapa wote.
Ameingia na $100 for you. So
Kutoka
me, I'll place my bet after the debate on Tuesday. Kutane hapa jioni hiyo ya Tuesday. So after the debate, we analyze that debate. This is a debate of issues. Yeah.
Zalendo.
Huh?
to analyze after Tuesday. We have a
Yeah,
Jibali.
we analyze that debate after Tuesday. We analyze that debate. You guys come on Tuesday, we analyze the debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump on Wednesday. On
Okay.
Wednesday. On Wednesday evening. I think that would be good. That would be a good one. All right. Thank you very much. Penny introduced a lady here called Phoebe. I want you guys who are very young and you don't see the Iron Lady in Kenyan politics that who went against Moi and won the seat in Karachuonyo. The Iron Lady, Phoebe Asio. So Phoebe Asio, this is the late Phoebe. I think she's still alive or she's the late. I don't know. I'm not very sure. But this is Phoebe Asio. Phoebe Asio was then the Iron Lady in Kenyan politics. There we didn't have gender equality. These women rose up to the occasion. We had also somebody by the name Grace Ogot. These women rose up to the occasion. They didn't look for favors in government so that that gender can be favored, but they came in politics, won the hearts of the people, and represented the people of Karachuonyo. So I'm glad, Penny, that you mentioned Phoebe Asio. There are so many people at home who did not know about Phoebe Asio. Now you know about the Iron Lady from Karachuonyo, Phoebe Asio. Asanteni sana. Laban, what is Laban saying? Laban, what are you saying on the comment section? Awesome is saying that Kamala was nominated before the convention, but now the press is hyping her. I am sorry if sorry for those who are supporting. No. That is the difference. We support Kamala because of our policies. We support Kamala because she represents me. You support Donald Trump because you see him representing you. Me, as a Democrat, I find it necessary to support the right policies. The right policies for housing are being articulated by Kamala. The right policies for food prices are being articulated so well by Kamala Harris, including the tariffs and all that. She's doing it so well. So that is the more reason why the issues of guns, the border law that was in Congress that didn't pass because you, Awesome, and the Kenya Revolutionary, you wanted something to talk about in politics today because you didn't want Democrats to carry the day. We support Kamala because of the policies on affordable health care for each and every citizen in America. And we support her because we want you to be treated with dignity and with respect despite your color or where you come from. That is the reason why we are routing for Kamala Harris. And if you don't like any of this, let's have a date in November. And thank you very much, guys. And again, make sure that you subscribe to Afrique 24. This is where you have the real topic, uncensored, unfiltered, and civil. We have tried to be very civilized in our conversation. No F words, no nothing like something that you will find in other platforms. No igniting emotions, which are unnecessary in our politics. But here you come with your policies. We reason out. If you think that they are good, we also correct you. You also correct us, and that is when we have a decent conversation. We don't shout at our leaders, but we inform them on the right things to do in when it comes to politics. And we have the wise counsel of Penny Nyagaka. He's an elder in this Afrique session. He never fails to come through when it comes to conversations that matter to the people of Kenya. Right now, we are talking about Morara. We want to elevate a different voice, a different tone in our politics. And that is all we want. We wish Raila Odinga success because he is also a son of the soil. We wish him success in his politics now that he's going to the AUC to represent Africa in the big stage. We wish you success, Baba, and adios. We also created a montage for you. If you feel free, your handlers can come here. We'll share it very, very widely. Make sure you download this if you support Raila Odinga.